Morning children, welcome back to the online class of biology. Today is the last section of this first chapter. That is, today let us discuss about the transpiration. So far you learned about the absorption by roots, characteristic of roots to absorb water and minerals from the soil, need of water in plants, how the water is transported to various parts of the plant, the conducting tissues in plants. All the topics we already discussed. Today, let us study about the next topic in the first chapter, that is transpiration. Transpiration. You learned that the roots of the plant continuously absorb water from the soil. This water is used for various purposes. What is the use of water in plants? The water is used for photosynthesis. Only a little of water is used for photosynthesis. What happens to the remaining water? The water is needed in plants to give a mechanical support to the plant. If there is no water in the plant, the leaves and the other parts of the branches or other parts may wilt. So, to provide mechanical support to the plant, to make it straight, water is needed. So, water provides mechanical support to the plant. Water is needed for photosynthesis. It is also needed for distributing materials throughout the plant. All the materials in plant is distributed or transported through the solution. Water is a medium of transportation. So that's all the uses of water in plants. You know, roots continuously absorb water from the soil, but only a little of water is used for photosynthesis. What happened to the excess of water? The excess of water is given out from the aerial parts of the plant in the form of vapor. That process is called transpiration. So transpiration is the giving out of excess water from the plant in the form of water vapor. This transpiration takes place only from the aerial parts of the plant, that is through the leaf or the stem. Through the leaves, there are many tiny pores on the leaf. That pores are called the stomata. So the roots of the plant absorb water and it is used in plant. The excess water is given out from the plant in the form of vapor. That process is called transpiration. Then, what is the significance of transpiration in plants? What is the importance of transpiration in plants? As the water is evaporated from the plant, the root can absorb more and more water from the soil. That is one of the importance of transpiration in plants. So, transpiration creates a suction force, or we can say a transpirational pull, that help the root to absorb more and water from the soil. So one of the use of transpiration is creating a suction force. Which help the root to absorb more water from the soil. Then another use of transpiration in plant is it gives a cooling effect to the leaf surface. Cooling effect. Second use of transpiration in plant is cooling effect. It gives cooling effect to the plant. As transpiration takes place, as evaporation takes place from the leaf surface, that evaporated water is evaporated to the air. That evaporation gives a cooling effect to the plant. You might have felt sitting under the tree in hot midday. It is very nice. We are getting shade and cool. The shade is due to the too much leaves on the plant. Then why we are getting coolness or cooling effect? Because of transpiration. And we are getting coolness, at the same time plant also getting coolness. So cooling effect, suction force. The next use of transpiration is, I already told you, distribution of mineral elements throughout the various parts of the plant. Distribute materials. The root, as the leaves give out water vapor, root can absorb more water from the soil. So this water is transported to various parts of the plant Along with water, minerals are distributed to all the parts of the plant. So the third use is distribution of minerals. Distribution of mineral elements. So these are the advantages of transpiration to the plant. Next is the factors affecting transpiration. That means when will be transpiration faster? When will be transpiration lesser? So what are the factors affecting transpiration? The various factors that affect transpiration are, first one is the sunlight. Sunlight. When there is bright sunlight, more water is transpired from the plant. That means when there is bright sunlight, transpiration takes place very fastly. What is the secret behind this? During the daytime, the stoma opens to take carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. That time, transpiration takes place automatically. That is why it is saying that when there is bright sunlight, transpiration takes place very fastly. The second factor is that wind, velocity of wind, or we can say wind. Wind affects the rate of transpiration. How it affects? Wind, when there is wind, when there is wind, evaporation takes place fastly. You might have seen that your parents, when cleaning the room, they on the fan to evaporate the water fastly. Like that, evaporation takes place fastly when there is wind. Same thing happen here. When there is wind, water transpired from the leaf will be faster. So more evaporation takes place. Evaporation of water from the plant takes place. So wind affects transpiration. The next one is the temperature. Next factor is the temperature. When the temperature is high, transpiration takes place fastly. That means when the temperature is high, the air will be dry. In the dry air, transpiration takes place fastly. So temperature also help in the transpiration. Then one more factor is that is humidity. How humidity affects the rate of transpiration? What is the meaning of humidity, Manasa? Okay. Humidity is the amount of water vapor present in the air. So humidity means humidity. If the air is already humid, that means if the air contains a lot of water vapor or the moisture in that the transpiration takes place slowly. It decreases the rate of transpiration. So the first three factors, sunlight, wind and temperature, increases the rate of transpiration, but humidity decreases the rate of transpiration. Okay, so these are the factors affecting transpiration. Next is the uses of minerals. Along with the water, plant also absorb minerals from the soil. So before going to that, you have to, we can demonstrate transpiration with the help of an experiment. Here is the experimental setup to demonstrate transpiration. Take a potted plant. Cover the aerial parts of the plant with a polythene bag. Aerial parts means the plant which grows above the ground. That means the stem and the branches, leaves, everything. Cover the aerial parts of the plant with a polythene bag and keep the plant in the sunlight for some time. After a few hours, we can see that the tiny droplets of water inside the polythene bag. From where does these water drops come? It is not from anywhere else, only from the leaves. So these leaves give out water vapor, and that water vapor condensed on the inner surface of the polythene bag and then form the water droplets. So this experiment proved that the transpiration takes place from the plant. The aerial parts of the plant give out water in the form of vapor. Okay, then we want to make sure that this only from the aerial parts of the plant give out water vapor. For that, we can take two experimental setup. First one is the same setup, that is cover the aerial parts of the plant with the polythene bag. And in the second setup, take a potted plant, remove all the leaves and cover it with the help of a polythene bag and keep both the setup in the sunlight for few hours. After 4 or 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours, we can see that the water drops found in the inner surface of the leaf of the first experimental setup, and there will be no water vapor or water droplets in the second experimental setup. So this experiment proved that only the evaporation takes place from the aerial parts of the plant. Then then there will be a question in this experimental setup. You may ask, why we cover only the aerial parts of the plant? Why can't we cover the whole plant, the pot itself? We are not covering the pot, we are covering only the aerial parts of the plant, because we know that transpiration takes place from the aerial parts of the plant. So to prove that, we have to cover only the aerial parts of the plant. Okay, that is the experiment to prove that transpiration. Next topic is the minerals, use of minerals. You know, plant continuously absorb water and minerals from the soil. So what is the use of minerals and water in plants? Water is used for photosynthesis and mechanical strength, etc. And for to provide mechanical strength to the plant. Next one is the use of minerals. Plant also, many mineral elements are absorbed by the roots. So according to the amount of elements needed in plants, they are divided into two categories. First one is the macro elements and second is the micro elements. Macro elements means the elements needed in bulk, that means in large amount. A lot of these elements are needed in plants, like nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, NPK. So nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, these are the macro nutrients or macro elements needed in plants. What is the use of these elements? These elements are needed for the formation of chlorophyll and the growth of the plant, synthesis of protein and enzymes in plants, like that. What will happen if the plant is not getting these elements? So in the case of nitrogen, if the plant is not able to absorb nitrogen element from the soil, it causes the yellowing of leaf. Usually the leaf of the plant become yellow color when it become old, but sometimes due to the lack of nitrogen, the yellowing of leaf takes place in plants. Then phosphorus, next one. Here also due to the deficiency of phosphorus, purple and red spot on the leaf. The leaf may have some spot, some deficiency disease we can say. So purple and red spot on leaf, and the seed germination will be delayed. Delaying of the germination of the seed if the soil does not contain enough phosphorus. The next one is a potassium. Potassium is very essential for the growth of the plant. If potassium is not present in the soil. If the root is not absorbing potassium from the soil, the plant shows poor growth. It will not grow properly. Poor growth, and the transpiration rate will be reduced in plants. So poor growth and reduced transpiration. These two are the deficiency of potassium. So nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are macronutrients or macro elements needed in plants. What do you mean by macro? They are needed in large amount or large quantity. Next one is the micro elements. The elements needed in small quantity or small amount. What are they? Iron, manganese and zinc. These three elements are micro elements. They are needed but not that much. They are needed very little. A small amount of these elements are needed in plants. They are very essential for the formation of protein and also for enzymes. What will happen if these elements are deficient in plants? If they are not absorbed sufficiently from the soil, the plant shows, in the case of deficiency of iron, causes yellowing of leaf. Iron is an important element present in the chlorophyll. So, due to the lack of iron, yellowing of leaf takes place in plants. Next one, manganese. Manganese causes yellowing of leaf with grey spot on the leaf. Yellowing of leaf takes place, along with on the leaf we can see some grey spot. And the next one is the zinc. That is another element. Zinc also causes yellowing of leaves. D-shaped leaves. The shape of the leaf will not be proper. They become small, or they will be some other, or crumbled or shrunken like that. D-shaped leaves. So that is due to the lack of zinc. And then plant will not grow properly. Stunted growth of plant. Stunted plant growth. That means growth will be stopped. It will not show the proper growth. So these are the micro elements needed in plants. So these macro and micro elements are very important. Study well. That is their uses, and they cause many deficiency disease in plants. So that's all about that chapter, transpiration, and that whole chapter is completed. Now we completed the first chapter, transporting plants. At the back, some of you got the textbook, others did not get, I know very well. Those who got the textbook, write the question answers in the notebook. Others, I will give you the photos of the pages in the textbook, then you can write the question answers. And in the next class, I will give you a class test on this first chapter, transporting plants. So study well. Thank you.